This is News Channel 20 at 6.
Bridges are breaking. The tough review for bridges in Illinois tonight and why experts say keeping them in top shape is proving to be a challenge.
Plus, the latest numbers on who's applying to be a police officer in Springfield and what the police chief says that means for the capital city.
A bit colder today, but a lot colder tonight. I'll let you know how low those thermometers go and how cold the rest of this week could be.
News Channel 20 at 6 starts right now. Good evening. Maggie's off tonight. It's bad news for bridges in Illinois this evening.
A national study shows Illinois has a higher rate of deteriorating bridges compared to the rest of the country. News Channel 20's Brendan Cullerton joins us now in the studio with why experts say it's difficult keeping bridges in good shape. Brendan?
Engineers in Morgan County tell me rising cost in materials is the biggest challenge for keeping bridges in top shape. And as one might expect, they say the more drivers a bridge sees, the more challenging it is to maintain. Engineers say only 4 or 5 bridges out of the 150 in Morgan County are considered deficient, which means they need a lot of work. But they say they can only afford to really fix one a year, with less money coming in for repairs and more needed to buy the necessary materials.
Well, the structure that we built, and the same contractor did the job in Scott County in 2005, cost $232,000. Now, this structure is under contract for $464,000. So simple math says, our prices have increased double in a period of 10 years.
Coltis says building and maintaining state bridges is even tougher than county bridges like those he deals with. That's because more people travel on state bridges, and those bridges also endure more wear and tear come winter.
And the state uses a lot more corrosive snow and ice removal products than what our road districts would here in Morgan County. Very few of our road districts actually use a lot of, an ample amount of material on the structures, but that salt's pretty detrimental to concrete and steel.
A study by the American Society of Civil Engineers found Illinois has the 3rd most bridges of any state in the country. The grade they got? C+. But a separate study shows it would cost almost $9.5 billion to fix all the problematic bridges in the land of Lincoln. Morgan County engineers say all of their deficient bridges were built in an era when they were held up by wooden piles, which have since been replaced by the concrete and steel piles you see today. Those wooden piles are starting to wear down. For a list of bridge projects near you, you can visit our website, WICS.com. Back to you.
Thank you, Brendan. Governor Bruce Rauner taking his message to the Citizens Club here in Springfield this morning. The governor touched on his turnaround agenda, including his now familiar points about unions and why he thinks they're costing taxpayers money. Rauner also touched on the state's budget and how balancing it would be good for business in Illinois. The governor also talked about freezing property taxes in response to a question from the audience.
I do want some more direct voter control on when and how property taxes do get increased. The freeze per se is not the issue as much as how much control do local voters have on the issue when they get raised.
This speech follows 2 similar speeches from yesterday as Rauner is asking municipalities to pass resolutions supporting his turnaround agenda.
With Governor Rauner having spent his first 100 days in office, News Channel 20 State House reporter Jordan Abadea goes one-on-one with him tomorrow night to find out what went well and what didn't and what could be in store in the future. Catch our special report Thursday on News Channel 20 at 10. Local election leaders say a new state law could mean trouble for them as they prepare for the special election to replace Aaron Schock in Congress. The law would let voters register and cast their ballot on Election Day. It's set to go into effect June 1st, while the primary to replace Schock is set for July 7th. But county clerks in Schock's district say they aren't equipped to do that now. Here in Sangamon County, Clerk Don Gray says he's talking to lawmakers about possible relief, but he says time is running out.
I don't really have time to be able to wait and see for an outcome. I have to start to develop the capabilities that we need now so that we have the software capability, we have the hardware capability, and we have folks trained to be able to perform the function should we have to provide for that for this special election.
A couple of counties in Schock's old district have billed the congressman for the special election to replace him. Schock has yet to say if he'll pay for them.
Early numbers show Springfield police officer applications are up this year compared to last year. The increase is especially seen with entry-level applicants, and there's a jump in minority applicants as well. News Channel 20's Eric Feldman is live outside the Springfield Police Department tonight with what these numbers mean. Eric?
Adam, applications opened at the start of the month, and Springfield's Director of Human Resources tells me that they've been recruiting near and far as close as here in Springfield, even going to other states such as Indiana and Tennessee. Chief of Police Kenny Winslow tells me that he believes that the early results show that their effort is paying off. Springfield Police Chief Kenny Winslow says Springfield has been gearing up for this recruitment cycle well before applications opened on April 1st, following a year of controversy for police departments in the public eye.
Peers that I associate with on a regular basis, and they're stating that they're seeing a drop in their numbers. One department who tested last October said that they saw a 40% drop in their applicants. So I'm very pleased, and that was one of the concerns we had going into the recruiting process, and that's why we obviously are giving 110% focus on this effort.
And the work is paying early dividends. As of Wednesday, there are 146 entry-level applicants, a 28% increase from last year. 36% of those are minorities, about 15% above the usual rate.
And the stuff that we've done with the outlet and the Boys and Girls Club and the barbecues in the park and all that, that's all just more community policing philosophy and letting people get to know us as a person and as an agency.
The effort from Winslow has been felt at the Springfield Urban League, which says it's not surprised by the big jump in minority applicants.
Our relationship with Springfield Police, and particularly with Chief Winslow, is something that's been developing and has been flourishing. And this kind of encouraging first step is something that we've been patiently and waiting for and advocating for a very long time.
Winslow says he expects the selection process to take months. With incoming Mayor Jim Langfelder planning on having an open application for police chief, Winslow hopes to stay on to finish the recruitment process.
I care about this organization. I love this organization, to be frank, and I love our community, and this is where I want to stay and where I want to be. Other opportunities have come to light. I'm not interested in those. This is where I want to be at.
Springfield's Director of Human Resources tells me she expects these increased percentages to hold even as more applications continue to roll in. Applications are still open for the Springfield Police Department. They'll be open until early June. Reporting live in Springfield, Eric Feldman, News Channel 20.
Thank you, Eric. Springfield police have set their sights on a drug dealer in the capital city, and they need your help finding him. News Channel 20's Michelle London reports on how you can assist.
Well, in tonight's Fugitive Files, officers need your help in finding a suspect on the run. And to talk to me a little bit more about this is the Sangamon County Sheriff, Wes Barr. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure.
Well, first of all, can we talk about who this person is?
Sure. We're looking for James Lacey. He's a black male, about 40 years of age, and he's wanted for unlawful manufacturing and delivery of a controlled substance. He's last known to be in the Springfield area, and we believe he still is.
Sheriff, how dangerous do you believe this person to be?
Well, we don't have any indicator that he is dangerous or armed and dangerous. However, he is wanted, he is a fugitive, he knows he's wanted, so we would caution anybody not to approach them, but to call law enforcement and let us make the apprehension.
And you mentioned calling law enforcement. What else can the public do to help?
Well, they can call the Sheriff's Office directly at 753-6666 or call Crime Stoppers.
Here's another look at the suspect. If you have any information on his whereabouts, you're asked to call the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office or the Crime Stoppers hotline. That number is 788-8427. Here at the 911 call center, I'm Michelle London, News Channel 20 at 6.
Today ended up being very similar to what we saw yesterday. Plenty of sunshine. Winds still a little bit on the breezy side, but the temperature's a little bit cooler. This time that cool air winning out this time around. There's that sunshine, plenty of it, so no complaints there, but the cool air from the north winning out in terms of our high temperatures this time. Just 55 right now in Springfield. Our high ended up being 57 for the day. 57 is where you were at in Jacksonville. 54 Decatur, 53 Champaign, 53 right now in Mattoon. There are those sunny skies. That's going to stick with us all throughout the evening hours, but we're going to be talking about some cool temperatures. I'll let you know what those colors mean in just a little bit in your full Storm Team forecast.
Thank you, Thomas. As you enjoy the spring sun, you can count on News Channel 20 to have your latest weather forecasts. You can find them online anytime on our website, WICS.com. You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Still ahead, the push in Washington that means some tinkering you do on your car could soon be illegal.
And later on, the UIS baseball team deals with some windy conditions today on the Ball Diamond. Donnie Tillman will recap this afternoon's action later in sports.
And got tips? The Waste Watch team is ready to investigate. Send your ideas to wastewatch at WICS.com. You're watching News Channel 20 at 6.
Welcome back. New at 6 this evening. Gold's Gym in Springfield now has a new owner after the previous owner filed for bankruptcy. The gym's president says it was sold to an out-of-state investment group that's staying anonymous for now. Gold's Gym filed for bankruptcy a little more than a year ago. Its then owner said she had $5 million in unsecured debts.
Also new at 6, Wells Fargo says it will add 100 jobs right here in the capital city.
A spokesman says the jobs will all be full-time, though some will be temporary. The jobs will be in the financial institution's mortgage office.
This announcement comes after Wells Fargo laid off 53 workers back in October. Automakers are now pushing to make it illegal for you to do certain work on your car. The Auto Alliance, an association that represents a dozen of the largest automakers, says a federal law on the books makes tinkering with electrical and computers in your car illegal. The group is now pushing Congress to enforce it, saying that tinkering could lead to equipment failure and security issues. Opponents say car owners should be free to tinker with their car as they want.
A plan to build a pipeline from Illinois to Texas, now long in the works, has the green light here in central Illinois. The Christian County Board voted yesterday to approve its part of the Southern Access Extension Project, or SAX for short. It will start up near Pontiac and run all the way down to the Longhorn State. That includes a 70-mile stretch in Christian County that will be built by Highway 48 northeast of Taylorville.
They're supposed to start training their people the first week in June. And then they'll start putting the pipe in around June 18th. And at that time, then they'll go ahead and finish it up. He said last night that they should be done with the project by the end of the year.
Christian County says it won't have to pay anything for the project. It also says they expect it to create jobs and use services from local businesses. As we had to break, we take a live look at the capital city. Sun peeking through. It was sunny today, but cool. Spring throughout the central Illinois today. We'll let you know if there's a chance it could feel like winter before the week's over. Thomas lets us know where and when we could see some frost and below freezing temperatures. That's next. But first, here's today's closing market numbers.
Now, your Storm Team 20 forecast with meteorologist Thomas Patrick.
More sunshine today, but it felt quite a bit colder because, well, it was quite a bit colder. Those winds finally bringing in that cooler air to the area, and the cool day today is going to translate to another cool night tonight. It was 36 degrees for a low this morning, only 6 degrees off the record low of 30 set back in 1986, and our high 57, running about 10 degrees below average. And tonight it's going to be even just a little bit cooler, not quite record territory because tomorrow's record low is actually 23 degrees, so we'll be hard pressed to get that cold, but it's going to be a chilly one tonight. Even temperatures right now still near their high temperatures overall in the middle 50s, 55 in Lincoln, 55 in Springfield, 54 Taylorville and Decatur, 53 in Mattoon, Champaign, Paris, and 51 right now in Danville. That's running about 10 degrees cooler than what we saw yesterday, even despite all that sunshine we got this afternoon. Our weather watchers are also reporting temperatures in the 50s. Todd in Jacksonville, 57. Teresa in Ashland, 56 degrees. And Nick in Beardstown reporting 56 as of the 6 o'clock hour. I mentioned it's going to be colder tonight than it was last night. And because of that, and because we're going to be pretty close to the freezing mark, we have frost advisories and freeze warnings in effect through the overnight hours. That means frost looking very likely, especially in our northern counties, areas along I-72 and to the north. Definitely going to see some frost even on the ground, not just the cars, even on the grass and the gardens overnight tonight, and more patchy frost possible to the areas to the south, but a cold one nonetheless. Forecast lows right around the 32-degree mark, even 31 our forecast low in Lincoln. It could be worse, and we're probably a little too close for comfort, but check this out. This is snow in southern Wisconsin, even had some reports in the northern Chicago suburbs. So this is the type of air mass that's in place. This picture was taken by my mom, and this is our backyard in our home in southern Wisconsin. So Hi, Mom. Thanks for watching on WICS.com every single night. There's that snow in portions of Wisconsin and Michigan. Not going to get to us because that high pressure is giving us that dry air. So a clear night overnight tonight. But again, those temperatures very much on the cold side. Check out how close the freezing line is going to get to us in our overnight hours, slicing right through central Illinois. So that's the 32-degree line. Could see areas colder, especially into the north, probably at or just slightly above 33, 34 degrees in our southern counties, but still frost possible throughout our entire area overnight tonight. More sunshine for both Thursday and Friday, this time bringing our temperatures back into the 60-degree mark. And then heading into the weekend, starting to see some showers developing Friday overnight. It looks like a washout on Saturday as a system and disturbance passes to our south, giving us rain chances, perhaps a rumble of thunder or two. But overall looking fairly wet, but at least not quite as cold as we're going to see tonight this upcoming Saturday. 32 degrees for a low. That's Springfield, so areas to the north a little bit cooler, areas to the south just a tick warmer. As for tomorrow, more sunshine, 62 degrees for a high temperature. 60s heading into the weekend. Saturday looking like a wet one. And overall, that 7-day forecast, temperatures mainly in the low to mid 60s, which is just slightly cooler than average for this time of year.
So those folks that did some planting maybe over the weekend when we had those 80-degree temps may want to cover up some of those plants.
It was a very good idea to get those plants out because we got that good rainfall last Sunday, but now you got to take the precautions to lay out the sheet or the blankets, conserve some heat, make sure all that water in the ground doesn't freeze and kill those plants.
At least we don't have snow like your mom. That was so cute of you to give her a shout out. Mrs. Patrick, hello.
Hi, Mom.
All right, now let's toss it over to Adam and Donnie.
Sports director Donnie Tillman joins us now. There you go.
Hey, Mom.
Everybody's mom there. Hey, how about this? Chicago Cubs hot on the heels of the Cardinals right now in the Central Division.
You know, you really don't get a chance to say that a lot of times, especially at this point in the year on April 22nd. But hey, the Cubs are in contention. What can you say? That story and more next in sports.
Now, sports with Donnie Tillman.
Good evening, everyone. Both the Cardinals and Cubs continue their respective series out east at this very moment. The Cubs are at the Pirates while the Cardinals are in the nation's capital. Cards leading the Cubs by just a half game in the National League Central heading into tonight. Think about that one. Well, the White Sox, they've got some work to do in the AL Central. They were hosting the Indians this afternoon. Jose Abreu starting to heat up. First inning, he takes Corey Kluber deep to right center field on an 0-2 pitch for a solo home run, his fifth of the year. White Sox up 1-0. Jeff Samardzija had his stuff working. He strikes out Michael Brantley here. 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 strikeouts for the former Cub. And in the 7th inning, more from Abreu. He doubles to left field. That will score Adam Eaton and Melky Cabrera. Hey, White Sox win 6-0. College baseball now, a very windy day on the campus of UIS as the Prairie Stars host Missouri St. Louis. Top of the 2nd inning, Kevin Smith hits it to the fielder's choice. Jarrett Clark coming home, and he's safe on the high throw. Visitors up 1-0. Later, after a wild pitch, it's Daniel Sutton who hits a single to left field. Dylan Fife and Kevin Smith come in to score on the play. Triton's up 5-0 after 1.5. But in the bottom of the 2nd inning, one on for Jake Redinger, and he takes one deep to center field. 2-run home run here in the win. However, Missouri St. Louis, they pick up the win 13-3. On the softball diamond, Lincoln Land heads north. They were taking on Lincoln. Top of the 3rd inning, bases loaded. Megan Bolliger drops one to shallow center. A pair of runs come in to score. Loggers up 3-0. Later, it's Sadie Mosier. She's going to get the strikeout in the circle to end the inning. It's still 3-0 when Rachel Hastings finds the gap in deep center field for a double. Courtney Reeves comes in to score. Loggers pick up the sweep on the road. They win game 1 by a score of 12-0. Game 2, 7-1. A very special day for the St. Teresa boys basketball team in the capital. The team was honored during their visit to Springfield this morning. The Bulldogs, of course, finished runner-up in the Class 2A state boys basketball tournament this season. The team was recognized during the morning session for the state lawmakers in the House. Members of the basketball team even got to learn about the voting process with other members of the House of Representatives. And all in all, a very special trip and a learning process for the Bulldogs basketball team. So you can learn something new every day.
Hey, well
Yeah,
earned,
I guess
too.
so.
Yeah. They give anybody a jersey, hanging up the St. Teresa jersey?
Probably.
Obama
I can see
44?
that. Nah.
That would be
yet.
hilarious.
Let's not go there.
Don't go away. Thomas still has one last look at your 7-day forecast.
And be sure to join the No Tech Zone. Take the pledge at WICS.com and help make Central Illinois roads safe.
Well, Thomas, we had some cooler temps today. We expect those to stay, but at least there's not going to be rain for a couple days.
And it's not going to snow tonight, but temperatures would be cold enough otherwise. We're down to 32 tonight, but no snow. It's going to be a clear sky, just some frost conditions by the morning hours. And then we're looking at the chances for some rain, some steady rainfall during the day on Saturday. So again, just make sure those baseball games are still on or if they get canceled.
All right.
Donnie, what do we have going on in sports at 10?
We've got a little high school trifecta. We got some baseball, some softball, some soccer, plus we'll recap the Cardinals and the Cubs. So a little sprinkle of everything. How about
Sounds
that?
good.
All right, that sounds good.
Thank you. That's our time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you right back here at 10.